Welcome to the third installment in the TT blockbuster franchise. The MK1 Audi TT Coupe, launched in 1998, and the MK2, 2006, have both been sale smash hits, so TT3 has a lot to live up to. After our first drive, we're pretty sure it has little to worry about. This is the all-new version of the coupe, with the soft-top version coming in summer 2015. Rivals include the likes of the, now discontinued, Peugeot RCZ and BMW 2 Series, while the high-performance Audi TTS model is faster than a Porsche Cayman. All the bits that made the old TT so popular, head-turning looks, a high-quality interior, everyday usability and speedy performance, remain, while the car as a whole has been brought bang up to date with the latest technology. Familiar styling, remixed for now. The styling mixes elements of the MK1 and MK2 and at first glance it's unmistakably a TT. The wheelbase, the distance between the front and rear wheels, has grown slightly but the car's overall length remains the same, making for super short front and rear overhangs. They wear sharper, more modern-looking headlights and tail lights with some neat touches including directional indicators that swipe across the tail lights rather than wink on and off. The Audi TT Coupe is still a 2+2, with a pair of tiny seats under the rear window that are best suited to kids only. As before, convertible roadster and super quick TTRS models will follow. Audi TT interior, equipment and options. Biggest point of interest is the instrument panel, which has become a 12.3-inch high-resolution LCD screen. The only ordinary gauges are the fuel and water temperature meters at the bottom of the screen, everything else is digital. There's no central multimedia screen in the new TT, everything, from sat-nav maps to album artwork, is displayed behind the steering wheel. Audi TT's active display, how it works: you can choose between classic view, with a conventional speedo and rev counter in their usual positions. In addition, all other information is displayed between them in the middle. There's also a full-screen infotainment mode where the instruments shrink to miniaturized versions of themselves. Functions such as the sat-nav map, for example, then grow to fill the screen almost entirely. You'll need to specify the optional technology mode to access the best of this function, though. It's all controlled via either buttons on the wheel or Audi's latest generation MMI control wheel near the gear lever, and it's all fairly intuitive. It might take a little practice to get used to at first, but after a short while even the least tech-savvy of drivers will be happily scrolling through the system's various functions on the move. Audi TT petrol and diesel engine choices at launch. The regular TT came with a choice of two engines, a 2.0-litre petrol or a 2.0-litre diesel, both turbocharged. The petrol TT can be spec'd with either front-wheel drive in a 6-speed manual gearbox or its quattro 4-wheel drive, and Audi's smooth S-tronic 6-speed automatic gearbox. The diesel, for now, is front-drive and manual only and can boast impressive fuel economy and CO2 emissions. Uprated Audi TTS and RS models. There's also a hot Audi TTS model, with a serious 309 horsepower from its 2.0-litre turbocharged petrol engine and 4-wheel drive. For more information on these, scroll down through the full review. The RS versions have their own reviews, which you can click on, below. Audi TT RS Coupe review. Audi TT RS Roadster review. The verdict: the Audi TT is a sharp drive, looks great and continues to attract great residual values. In other words, as well as being the stylish coupe choice, it's also a smart one. It's not cheap, but the quality oozes through, even if it's not the last word in dynamic finesse. The pick of the range for keen drivers has to be the TTRS, although that version comes at a hefty premium, even if it has supercar baiting performance. Effectively, buy with confidence, and come the time, sell with confidence. 2. Click on the categories below and at the top of the page to navigate through the full Audi TT review. At launch there are two engines for the regular Audi TT Coupe, a 2.0-litre petrol, with either front-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, and a 2.0-litre diesel, front-wheel drive only. There's also a hot Audi TTS model with 306 bhp. Petrol range: the 2.0-litre TFSI engine kicks out a healthy 227 bhp and with front-wheel drive takes the TT from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 6.0 seconds. There's lots of torque on tap, too, 370 Nm over a broad rev range, between 1,600 and 4,300 revolutions per minute. Audi calls its four-wheel drive models quattro, and when driving all the wheels the same engine will get the car from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 5.3 seconds. Top speed for both versions is 155 miles per hour. Front drive cars get a 6-speed manual gearbox, and quattro versions a 6-speed S-tronic auto, which uses 2 clutches for extra fast and smooth gear changes. Until the red-hot DTRS model arrives, scheduled for 2016, the fastest Audi TT performance figures belong to the Audi TTS model. More expensive than the regular TT models, it's powered by a 306 bhp 4-cylinder turbo engine and is fitted with 4-wheel drive. Diesel range: there's one diesel from launch, the 2.0-litre TDI with 182 bhp. If fuel economy and low tax rates are a priority, this is the one to go for, with an impressive claimed 67.3 miles per gallon average and CO2 emissions of 110 grams/km. It's not slow though, with a big 380 Nm slug of torque, taking the car from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 7.1 seconds and onto a top speed of 150 miles per hour on the road. It's quiet and smooth, but capable of very fast acceleration when you need it. Like before, the TT is grippy, stable and easy to drive quickly or slowly. The brakes are worthy of praise, powerful, progressive and not as grabby and sensitive as on some other Audi models. You can cycle through different parameters for the power steering sensitivity and engine response using the drive select switch. This also controls power distribution in four-wheel drive quattro models. In auto mode, the torque is shuffled to wherever it will give the best traction, while in dynamic mode more power is sent to the rear axle to make the car feel more agile. In efficiency mode, the car becomes two-wheel drive most of the time to save fuel unless extra traction is needed. The quick TTS model is four-wheel drive only and is fitted with magnetically controlled adaptive dampers as standard. We drove the car on track and it's incredibly grippy in the dry. Even with the traction control switched off, it has enormous reserves of traction. Despite that, the TT's still not the most thrilling of cars to drive. A decent hot hatch will be far more fun to drive than even the super quick TTS model, but most TT buyers probably couldn't care less. While the biggest shake-up is the virtual cockpit digital display behind the steering wheel described on the summary page of this review, there are a few other surprise and delight features elsewhere in the cabin. Like every TT before, there are large round air vents across the center of the dashboard, but now they have a digital temperature readout in their center. If you want to adjust the aircon temperature, you no longer press buttons on the dash but touch the vent itself instead. It's such a neat solution that you wonder why nobody has done it before. As you'd expect, fit and finish is superb, and the virtual cockpit layout means there are fewer buttons and switches in the cabin than ever before. One downside is that it's difficult for the passenger to see much of the screen, making it tricky for them to help with programming the sat-nav or choosing music while the driver is occupied, which wouldn't be the case with a conventional screen in the center of the dash. Ride quality that's very much on the firm side has historically been a slight weak point of Audi TT comfort. Depending on spec, that's still the case. We tested the car on S-Line trim with 19-inch alloys and firmer suspension, and on bumpier roads ride quality was at the bone-shaking end of the scale. Otherwise, the TT is a comfortable car to rack up miles and could easily be used every day. The seats don't just look great but are comfy and have a wide range of adjustment, from low slung to lofty, so drivers of all shapes and sizes will be able to get comfortable. All three launch engines are quiet when they're not being worked hard, even the diesel and hot TTS versions, and at motorway speeds the TT is commendably muted. There are 5 distinct Audi TT Coupe trim levels: Sport, S-Line, Black Edition, TTS and TTS Black Edition. Standard Audi TT equipment: the entry-level Sport trim includes DAB radio, USB connectivity and manual aircon is standard. Other kit list highlights include keyless go, Alcantara and leather upholstery, xenon headlights and the drive select menu to set your preferred parameters for the engine, steering and automatic gearbox, among others. Bluetooth connectivity is also standard, as is the Audi Music interface, which allows you to hook up your iPod or MP3 player to the main screen and scroll through artists, tracks and albums from the steering wheel or stream music via Bluetooth audio. Audi's multimedia interface, MMI, comes with a touchpad that allows you to trace inputs such as postcodes for the sat-nav or music track titles with a finger to save time and help you keep your eyes on the road. It works extremely well. You can tell the Sport apart from the S-Line by its 18-inch 10-spoke alloy wheels. Advantages of moving up to the pricier S-Line grade are largely cosmetic, as it nets you larger 19-inch 5-spoke alloys, a more aggressive-looking body kit and high-tech LED headlights and tail lights. Ironically, the S-Line trim is sportier than the Sport trim with stiffer suspension and a 10mm lower ride height as standard. If ride comfort is a priority, though, you can swap the S-Line suspension for the more pliant regular setup at no cost. Those looking for more striking aesthetics will be drawn towards the high-spec Black Edition trim. This adds unique 19-inch Audi Sport alloy wheels, black styling additions, privacy glass and black door mirrors to an already striking visual package. A 12-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system and wind deflector are some of the extra standard equipment on offer with the Black Edition trim. If you're after a little more power, TTS spec comes standard with a 310 horsepower 2.0-litre turbocharged engine, and plenty of standard kit in addition to that seen on sport level trim. This includes adaptable Audi magnetic ride, various suspension settings according to the road surface, heated Super Sport fine apple leather seats, Audi sound system and Audi virtual cockpit. Opt for the top-level TTS Black Edition trim and the additions are identical to those seen on the regular Black Edition spec. Optional Audi TT accessories. Unfortunately, if you want rear parking sensors, cruise control or dual zone climate control, you'll need to pay extra. The optional technology package includes a hard disk drive navigation system that can fill the display screen behind the wheel completely should you wish it to, and includes Audi Connect internet access with Google Maps, Google Street View, real-time traffic information, local fuel prices and music streaming. Also available is a 680-watt 12-speaker Bang & Olufsen stereo upgrade, which sounds great, and Park Assist, which displays the car's surroundings and can autonomously steer the TT into a parking space while the driver controls the pedals. Numerous optional safety assist systems include Audi Side Assist A, rear-mounted radar sensors to help with lane changes, traffic sign recognition uses a camera to display speed limits and other signs as a reminder on the instrument panel, Audi Presense, closes windows and pre-tensioned seatbelts if it senses an imminent collision, and active lane assist, can tweak the steering if the driver becomes sleepy and lets the car wander out of its lane. The lane assist system is standard on 2.0 TFSI petrol models but optional on 2.0 TDI Ultra diesel cars. The Audi TT will be tested by Euro NCAP in the near future. Parts of its structure are closely related to the Audi A3 and Volkswagen Golf, both of which achieved 5 stars when tested. Of plethora Audi TT safety systems are available as options and include Audi Side Assist, rear-mounted radar sensors to help with lane changes, traffic sign recognition via camera, displays important signs such as speed limits on the instrument panel. It can even recognize temporary speed limits. Audi Presense, closes windows and pre-tensioned seatbelts if it thinks you're about to become involved in a collision. Audi Active Lane Assist, issues a warning or autonomously corrects the steering if the car's drifting out of its lane. Standard on 2.0 TFSI engine models, optional on 2.0 TDI Ultra cars. Audi TT practicality has improved slightly with the new model. The boot's 13 litres bigger than before at 305 litres, and while it's still not huge, there's enough space for 3 or 4 large bags. With the seat backrests down, that figure grows to 712 litres and a flat load space for longer items is created. Like before, the tiny rear seats are only suitable for small children or stowing luggage on. You'll struggle to give more than one adult passenger a lift over a journey of any length.